Most people grow up in families where money is never discussed openly. But in billionaire homes, conversations about wealth, legacy, and success start when the kids are still very young. These children are taught that money is not just paper. It's energy, freedom, and the ability to change the world. They learn that life is a game, and money is one of the most powerful tools in that game. Instead of fearing money or seeing it as the root of all evil, they see it as a servant, not a master. Poor families often avoid these topics, believing it's too complex or unnecessary. But billionaires know that the earlier you plant the seed of financial wisdom, the bigger the tree will grow. This is how wealth continues for generations, while others remain stuck in cycles of survival. One of the first things billionaire parents teach is the difference between an abundant and a scarcity mindset. Poor families often unknowingly teach their kids to say, "We can't afford that," or "That's impossible." But wealthy parents flip the script. They ask, "How can we afford that?" Or, "What steps can we take to make it happen?" This simple shift trains young minds to think like problem solvers, not victims of circumstance. It opens doors where others only see walls. Kids raised with abundance see opportunity everywhere, while scarcity mindsets keep people trapped in fear, hesitation, and limited beliefs. The way you think about money shapes the entire direction of your life. In poor families, risk is something to be avoided at all costs. Parents say, "Don't take chances, play it safe." But billionaire parents teach the opposite. They tell their kids that life rewards those who are willing to take smart risks. They explain that behind every major success lies a story of bold decisions, calculated risks, and sometimes temporary failures. Instead of saying, "What if you lose everything?" they ask, "What if you win everything?" This builds courage, resilience, and the ability to act when opportunities arise. Risk is not something to fear. It's something to master. One of the greatest lessons billionaire parents pass down is the importance of ownership. While poor families often teach their kids to get a good job and work for someone else, the wealthy emphasize building assets, things that generate income even while you sleep. They teach their children to own businesses, real estate, stocks, and intellectual property. They explain the difference between spending money and multiplying it. This creates a mindset where children grow up understanding that true freedom doesn't come from earning a paycheck, but from owning assets that work for you 24/7. Failure is a forbidden word in many poor households. It's seen as something shameful, something to avoid. But in billionaire families, failure is viewed as a teacher. Children are told that every successful person has failed countless times, and that those failures were necessary steps on the road to greatness. They learn that if you're not failing sometimes, you're not aiming high enough. This builds mental toughness, resilience, and the courage to take action without fearing judgment or setbacks. Billionaire kids grow up knowing that mistakes are not the end. They're just part of the journey. In billionaire households, children are taught the value of delayed gratification from an early age. They learn that true wealth doesn't come from spending money the moment you have it. It comes from patience, discipline, and smart decision-making. While poor families may focus on immediate pleasures like flashy gadgets, branded clothes, or expensive dining, the wealthy teach their kids to invest first and then spend later. They understand that every dollar saved and invested today can multiply tomorrow. This simple habit, waiting before buying, sets them apart for life. It's not about deprivation. It's about making choices that build lasting wealth. One powerful lesson billionaire parents emphasize is the importance of who you surround yourself with. They teach their kids that your circle shapes your mindset, your habits, and your future. While many people grow up in environments where negativity, fear, and small thinking dominate, Wealthy children are encouraged to build networks of ambition, creativity, and possibility. They learn early that if you spend time with winners, you'll start to think and act like one. Successful people seek out other successful minds, and this principle is passed down from generation to generation. One of the deepest truths billionaire parents pass to their children is this: money is your employee, not your boss. Poor families often teach their children to work for money, exchanging time for small paychecks. But the wealthy teach their kids to make money work for them through investments, business systems, and passive income. This mindset is life-changing. It helps children grow into adults who don't chase every dollar. They create systems where dollars chase them. It's the difference between financial slavery and financial freedom, and most people never hear this lesson even once in their lives. Billionaire parents instill in their kids the idea that life is full of problems, but the people who rise above are the ones who focus on solutions, not complaints. While many are taught to blame, make excuses, or feel like victims, the wealthy teach their children to ask, "How can I fix this? How can I turn this challenge into an opportunity?" This mindset creates leaders, innovators, and creators, people who change the world. Complaining adds no value, but problem-solving builds empires. And that is one of the most powerful silent lessons rich families pass on. Perhaps the most underrated lesson billionaires teach their children is that time is more valuable than money. Money can be earned, lost, and earned again, but time, once gone, never returns. Wealthy parents emphasize the power of time management, decision-making, and using time to build things that outlive you. They teach that it's not just about working hard. It's about working smart and leveraging time wisely. Poor families may unintentionally glorify overworking, but the wealthy know that freedom of time is the real luxury, and their children grow up chasing that freedom instead of endless labor. Billionaire parents never let their children believe that one source of income is enough. They teach them from a young age that true security and wealth come from having multiple streams of income. While poor families often depend on a single job or paycheck, the rich show their kids how to build businesses, make investments, create royalties, and develop passive income streams. They explain that relying on one source is dangerous, because if that one fails, everything crumbles. Wealthy children grow up with a mindset of diversification, always seeking ways to make money work in several places at once. In most poor families, education is seen as the golden ticket: good grades, a stable job, and a safe life. But billionaire families flip the script. They emphasize financial literacy over academic excellence. They teach their kids about money management, investing, taxes, debt, and building wealth, things that schools never teach. While academic success is respected, it's financial intelligence that sets you free. Billionaire children understand how money works, how to grow it, and how to protect it. They learn that the people who control money control the world, and this knowledge is far more powerful than any diploma. One silent weapon billionaire parents pass to their children is the art of negotiation and communication. They teach that everything in life is negotiable, whether it's business deals, partnerships, or even time. Poor families rarely discuss these skills, but the rich ensure their kids grow confident in presenting ideas, asking for what they deserve, and influencing others. They are taught that words can open doors, change minds, and build empires. From an early age, these children practice the art of listening, speaking with impact, and thinking critically. It's one of the most overlooked but powerful success factors. Many people believe that billionaires are selfish, but what they teach their children is often the opposite. They explain that true wealth comes with responsibility, the duty to give back, to create impact, and to uplift others. Their children grow up understanding philanthropy, legacy, and the power of generosity. Poor families often can't afford to think beyond survival, but wealthy children are taught that making a difference can bring fulfillment far greater than material wealth. They learn to measure success not just by what they earn, but by what they contribute to the world. Billionaire parents constantly remind their children that the size of their dreams determines the size of their success. While poor families may encourage modest ambitions, get a good job, live within your means, the rich tell their kids to dream so big it scares them. They teach that the world's most successful people weren't afraid to think differently, to break the rules, and to chase what others called impossible. These children grow up unafraid of criticism or limits, with visions of building empires, changing industries, or leaving a lasting mark on the world. Thinking small is never an option. Billionaire families teach their kids that education doesn't stop at school, it never stops. They emphasize that the world's most successful people are lifelong learners who read, study, and constantly upgrade their knowledge. While poor families often rely solely on formal education, the wealthy encourage self-education, books, mentorships, seminars, and exploring new ideas. Their children grow up curious, always asking questions, and seeking wisdom beyond the classroom. They are taught that curiosity is the spark behind every great invention, every great business, and every great fortune. Success belongs to those who never stop learning. Billionaire parents stress that success doesn't come from random luck, it comes from daily discipline. They teach their children that powerful habits, not occasional motivation, create long-term wealth and happiness. While poor families may focus on working hard for short-term survival, the wealthy focus on building habits around time management, fitness, learning, and decision-making. These kids grow up understanding that how they spend each day shapes who they become. Winning the morning, planning the day, and sticking to routines are taught as essential life skills, not just for business, but for every aspect of life. In billionaire households, children are taught that emotions, not just logic, drive the world. They learn to manage anger, fear, and doubt while building resilience against failure, criticism, and rejection. Poor families often don't discuss emotional intelligence, leaving children to struggle with setbacks alone. But wealthy parents teach that bouncing back, staying calm under pressure, and understanding people's emotions are keys to leadership and success. Their children grow up emotionally stable, aware, and adaptable, ready to face life's challenges without breaking down or giving up. The ultimate lesson billionaire parents pass on is that life isn't just about luxury, it's about legacy. They teach their children to think beyond themselves, to create something that lasts long after they're gone, whether it's a business, an idea, or a positive impact on society. Wealthy families focus on building legacies, not just accumulating wealth. Poor families, trapped in survival mode, rarely discuss this deeper purpose. But billionaire kids grow up asking, "What will I leave behind? How will I be remembered?" That's what separates a rich life from a truly meaningful one.